What thought do you think, or can you identify, and of course this is really asking a lot, is the one that starts turning you in the direction of depression?
It's self-doubt. I will always second-guess myself. And if I take a decision, if there's subsequent contrast, that to me says, oh, you made a mistake, you're going the wrong way.
Well, there isn't any subject that you could choose, any object of attention that you could choose that is more important for you not to point negatively at themselves, because for all of those obvious reasons. But so self-doubt. So give us an example.
Well, there was a decision earlier this year, and I didn't, and I've noticed this other times in my life. I thought, okay, this is what I'm thinking, but then I will listen to some other person and take their opinion of it, and then it won't go so well. And that's why I refer to self-doubt. I will always discount my perspective, thinking that I'm not good enough or smart enough or some facet of that, and therefore rely on guidance from somebody else, which is obviously not coming through me.
And then?
Well, then it doesn't go well.
And then?
Then I feel worse. Then I beat up myself for, just making another yet mistake, supposedly. And
well, stop it.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Done deal. I'm good with that. I mean,
that was easy. Just get in the vortex.
And now that you mentioned the vortex, the last part of that quote is, how can I get a feeling of exhilaration here and now? And I know I've created a tremendous amount. You've described for Esther her vortex at times. Can you describe a little bit mine for me?
We can and we will. And before this day is finished, we'll do a lot of that. But there's something more important to do here first.
Okay.
And that is, we want you to realize that when you tune in to a frequency, no matter how you got there, maybe you watched something on television, maybe something happened to somebody you know, maybe you observed something, maybe you just started remembering something. It doesn't matter. Once you tune into it and you stay focused there, you're going to activate the vibration about it, and then you're going to have an emotional response that gives you an indication of your vibrational proximity to the way the source within you feels about the same thing. Now, this is the most important thing for you to hear, and you haven't known this before in this way. Emotions are indicators of vibration, of vibrational relationship. In other words, you're not just having an emotion to something. Your emotion is about your response as compared to your inner being's response about the same thing. Do you hear how important that is? In other words, another way of saying it is, if you look at something and it takes you to your knees, it's upsetting to you, meaning it's debilitating and the crippling to you the way it feels, what that's telling you is you're way, 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 way off from the way your source thinks and feels about the identical thing. That's guidance. And it's not guidance saying you're wrong. It's not your inner being saying you're wrong, you're stupid, you're foolish, you're inept, you're incapable, you're wrong. It's just guidance saying you're off. It's like the bumps on the road. Don't take them personally.
Yeah. When
Esther's driving the monster bus, she spends a little bit of time every now and again on the bumps. Sometimes she does it just to get Jerry's attention. and it always does. Even if he's asleep. Even if he's asleep, it gets. But she doesn't take it personally. In other words, it doesn't mean she's inept. It doesn't mean she's stupid. It doesn't mean she's incapable of driving the monster bus. It just means right now, in this moment, she could be better placed on the road than she currently is. That's all it means. It doesn't mean she's going to die. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean she's going to go off in the bar pit. It doesn't mean she's lost ability to use her arms. It doesn't mean that she's lost her mind. It just means she could focus better. That's all it means. That's all your negative emotions mean. You could focus better.
Yes.
And how do you know you could focus better? Now, this is so important. How would you know that you could focus in a better place? Because your inner being already is focused in a better place, and the emotion you feel is the indicator of the vibrational relationship between how you're focused and how the source within you is focused. It's not a judgment. It's not a you've done bad. It's just a simple, you could direct your thoughts in a more productive, better feeling way if what you said through life experience that you wanted is true, which it is. It's true. This is true. This is reality. This is the real reality. And when you deviate from the real reality, you're never going to feel good. You're off course just a little bit. That's all those emotions mean, you see. So when you have strong negative emotion like depression, it doesn't mean you're really off course. It means you really want something really different than you're really focused right now. That's all. That's all, you see. Don't you like knowing that?
Yes, I do. That's great.
I'm not bad, and I couldn't feel this bad if I weren't really so good. So much for depression.
Yeah.
Now you know what it is. In other words, don't you like knowing that you've been blessed with a really acute, powerful guidance system? Good for you.
I mean, I've always been super sensitive, and from your teachings, that's a good thing.
Super sensitive and able to guide thought, fabulous. Super sensitive and sloppy with thinking, not so good.
No, not
in terms of the way it feels. And so Esther and Jerry, they talk about this incessantly, all day, every day, because each of them knows. Esther will say, look how good our life is. Can you imagine if we would just try? Can you imagine how good our life could be if we would just make sure that we're in the vortex instead of sometimes just going down a negative trail because it's there? Oh, let's see where this negative trail leads. Because they now have the confidence of knowing that it's going to be all right and that life is working for them and that things always work out for them. But imagine how good life would be as you just focus more.